Hey guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here with another edition of Poevember. That's hashtag Poevember25. And we're on day 28. The prompt for day 28 is gold. And join me as I proceed to do everything but follow the prompt until the very end when I remember what the actual prompt was. Yes, it's one of those days. uh, I don't know what was going on in my head, honestly. Which is funny because I am recording this voiceover the evening after spending the entire day filming the rest of the Poevember videos. So you think I would remember what I was thinking this morning, but all I kept thinking about was I need to get this done, and I still don't have a plan for the next 2 days worth of prompts. And part of my brain was like, oh, you could make this type of like flippity floppity fold out card or a sliding tag or something like that. But then I was like, I'm also a little bit tired, not gonna lie. So, what can I do that won't give me the complete burnout feeling that comes with finishing these month-long challenges? And what I settled on was another pop-up, but a very easy pop-up because it's just a little four-square pop-up. Um, in fact, the mechanics are silly easy, and once you realize how they work, it's very easy to incorporate into other things. Although you're going to watch me make this mistake, I forget that this has to close and that the edges are not gonna line up with the middle. They actually come out like an inch or two from the side. So I forget that part when I am doing my planning here. So I actually end up making a base that's too big for the inside because I forget that when it folds, it's gonna move out, which you'll see. You'll see me figure it out. We're gonna figure it out together. So what ends up happening is that I end up cutting away and making a smaller. Uh, I forget what they're called. A mechanic. That's what I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. I end up making a smaller pop-up mechanic that fits inside when it's closed by subtracting the overages. So I ended up being 1.5 inches over with my original piece. So there's two sides, a front and a back. So I ended up subtracting 3 inches from the overall size and getting a piece that was perfectly aligned to fit inside. So yeah. It's so silly because you think it's something I would have thought of, but the problem was that I forgot how this opens and closes, like how to glue it in. Like I knew what was gonna happen, but I forgot how you glue it in. So in my brain, I was like, yeah, you glue it in with the little tabs flush to the middle, and that's not true. You have to line up the center line in order to glue it in, and I'll remember that. Um, but I guess it just goes to say that a lot of the reasons why I make mistakes is because I be assuming. I be out here making lots of assumptions, and then I find out after the fact that I have incorrectly assumed. So yeah, see, we have a big tear of glue that we have to figure out what to do with, and a smaller mechanic, a little nicely tidy fit in place mechanic. Also, I realized later on that I put the mechanic, like the little pop-up feature, exactly where the magnet is that I just put on there. So in future videos you will see that I move that magnet because I was not going to waste a magnet. I wanted it to be functional. But also like just again, I'd be assuming and that's why I make these mistakes I end up having to correct. But hopefully, you guys learn from these mistakes and do not repeat them when you try this stuff out for yourself. But then, I don't know what, like, this is what happens when you don't have a clear plan and then you're kind of just going off vibes, especially towards the end of like a big project where you're just like, all right, we're gonna get through this. And it's not even like I want to like hurry up and get done with Poevember. I actually want Poevember to last longer, but I think like in order to detach myself from the ending and not be pained by the ending of Poevember, I just sort of YOLO my way through the last couple of things and go for vibes only so that I don't have to feel bad when it ends because I wasn't like as invested as I was at the beginning of the month where I was like everything has to be very deliberate and meaningful. Now we're just like having fun, having a good time crafting and just going with the flow, which is great because I really love this piece. I love how this came out because it's definitely a very fun piece, but I had no plan and even right now I didn't know what I was doing. It was just sort of a, well, this looks good. Put this down. We'll figure this out kind of deal. And funnily enough, it works because I liked it. I'm happy with it. Um, and hopefully the person who gets this book is happy with it as well because I just cruising through these last ones. Um, and enjoying the process, which I think is, probably the most important thing because I'm definitely doing stuff and trying out things that I wouldn't normally do, or experimenting with stuff just because I'm trying to see like what I come up with. Because again, I had no plan for these last couple of prompts like I did for the first half. So like all the way up to prompt 20, definitively. Probably 22. Wait, let me look at the list because I think I knew what I was going to do when I got back. Yes, up to 22, I had a plan. So for the last 8, no plan, only vibes. And yeah, it's been a fun ride so far. I've come up with some stuff that I think is probably some of my favorite stuff, and some stuff that I'm like, all right, you did it. You did the thing. There's some stuff I'm definitely gonna come back and explore later, like using that uh holographic vinyl on top of dark spooky images. I think that's really fun, and I want to like explore that at a future point, and like a ghost finder, ghost hunter type of thing on the bob. Um, what else have I done? The little revealing pocket tag thing that I made for yesterday's prompt was also fun. I'd like to try that out again and do something different with that. And then like this is one of my favorite pop-ups in like mini albums and in general. I really enjoy this pop-up. I don't know why, it just fills me with delight to see it in motion. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing this again. As well as some stuff in the future videos, in the next 2 videos that I'm not going to spoil for you now. You'll have to come back and see what I do then to see the kind of fun things I have, because I have a good time playing with these last couple of prompts. So yeah, because I was like, we're going to make this little 4 square pop up, and we're going to have 4 little squares. And then I was like, what are you going to put on the 4 little squares, Priscilla, with your infinite freaking wisdom? And I didn't know. So then I was like, okay, I'll just approach this like I'm making Twinchies, which is 2 inches. If you are not familiar with this, there's inchies, which is a 1-inch square, and a twinchie, which is 2-inch squares. And I don't think anyone calls them thrinchies for 3-inch squares, but maybe they should. Although just at that point it sounds like something Grinchy, like a thrinchie is something the Grinch would use. Speaking of, the Grinch is my favorite holiday film of all time. Jim Carrey's version. Thank you very much and goodbye. But yeah, so I was like, I'll approach this like I'm making Twinchies and just make little tiny clusters and collages for each of them. But then I was like, I don't want to make 4. So I just used pictures from the kit to fill in the rest of the gaps, and added some words on top to be like spooky ambiance. We're going for fun, delightful, gothic, spooky ambiance here. And yeah, and then as you can see, I cut out the bone because I have that big old strip on the side I need to cover. I will say probably the only difficult thing about this pop-up mechanism whatsoever is remembering how to glue the stuff down, because you can definitely do it wrong. You can definitely do it wrong. So yeah, you only glue on the inside parts. So if you are crafting along with me, remember that, because it will not close and open the way that you want if you do not glue it this way. But yeah, that's, I mean, legit, it works just exactly how. It's like a fun little explosion of tiny little art pieces, and I like that. And then we're gonna cover up the tear there with this big old bone piece, like it's watching over these little tiny Twinchy guys. And then I was like, oh yeah, the prompt. The prompt was gold. So yeah, it might be a bit of a cop-out for the prompt because it wasn't something like super well thought out. But yeah, I added a bunch of gold splatter all over the thing, which I think really ties everything together. It makes it look like one composition and not like a background and a page pop up and a bone that I stuck down to cover an unfortunate mistake. It doesn't look like separate pieces anymore because now they all blend in together. So I feel like I accomplished it. I feel like I did the thing that I was supposed to do. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Come back tomorrow, see what we do for the last 2 days of Poevember. Hashtag Poevember25. Check the description box for all the stuff. And I will catch you guys all in the next one. I appreciate your faces. Happy crafting and goodbye.